When a home is overpriced, buyers usually do not announce it. They don't call a meeting. They don't send a strongly worded letter. They don't gather on your front lawn with tiny protest signs. Although honestly, that would be useful feedback. They just disappear. They stop clicking, they stop scheduling showings, and they stop asking questions, and they just move on. Real estate ghosting is real. That's why pricing is one of the biggest decisions a seller can make. Not just because of what the home might sell for, but because of whether buyers even see it, notice it, and feel motivated to act. So let's talk about 3 pricing mistakes that quietly kill momentum. Number 1, pricing from emotion instead of evidence. And I get this. If you've lived in your home for years, improved it, raised a family there, poured money into it, and cared for it, of course you feel attached to the value, and you should. That's part of what makes a home special. But buyers are not buying your memories. They're comparing your home to every other option they can buy fast. They're looking at location, condition, layout, lot, schools, commute, finishes, and price. And they're asking one simple question. Compared to everything else, does this make sense? That's the real pricing test. Not what the seller hopes, not what the neighbor got, not what Zillow thinks from a server farm with no emotional accountability. The real test is how buyers compare your home against their other choices right now. Number 2, assuming buyers search the way sellers think. And this is the sneaky one. Most sellers think, let's price a little high and see what happens. It sounds harmless, like ordering fries for the table, except this version can cost a lot more than the fries. Buyers don't search that way. They search in price ranges, up to 2.5, 3 million, maybe 3.5 or 4 million. And depending where you price the home, you may land in front of more buyers or quietly miss a big group of them. And this is where pricing becomes more than a value decision. It becomes a visibility decision. Take a look at this demand by price chart. Don't worry, no math test here. And this does not show the value of the home. It shows how many saved searches and buyer collections could include a property at different list prices. And this is within the Compass ecosystem. And that matters because a small pricing difference can create a big visibility difference. One price may place the home inside more buyer searches, another just outside of it where a large group is looking. And if the right buyer never sees the home, they're not going to fall in love with it. Real estate romance is tough when you never make it to the first date. So the general rule of thumb is that the lower you price it, the more buyers will qualify. But the reality is, as you see in this chart, pricing it strategically, you can actually get more buyers. And so when I look at a chart like this, I'm not just asking what's the highest number we can put on the home. I like big numbers too. Very big pro number. But the better questions are, where does demand appear the strongest? Where are the search thresholds? And where might we gain visibility? And where might we lose it? And what price gives us the best chance to attract the right buyers early? That's part that many sellers miss. Smart pricing is not just about a home's worth. It's about how buyers behave. And buyer behavior is not always logical, but it is measurable. And when we can measure it, we can make better decisions. And then finally, number 3, ignoring the first 2 weeks. The first 2 weeks are not a warm-up. They're opening night. This is where the home's fresh and exciting to the market. Buyers are curious, agents are paying attention, and saved searches are firing. People are clicking, sharing, comparing, and deciding whether the home is worth seeing. So if activity is strong, great, you want to lean into it. But if showings are weak, if buyers are not engaging, if agents are saying, nice house, but the price feels high, and that's information. Information is useful if we listen to it quickly enough. One of the most expensive mistakes a seller can make is waiting too long to respond to clear market feedback. Because a home can go from new and exciting to why is that still sitting there faster than most sellers expect. And once that happens, you're not just selling the home. You're also selling against their perception that something may be wrong with it, which is not ideal. Technical real estate term. So the goal is not simply to pick the highest price. The goal is to pick the smartest price, a price that protects value, creates visibility, and attracts the right buyers. And ideally creates enough interest for buyers to compete, because great pricing is not about being cheap. It's about being strategic. If you're thinking about selling, I'm happy to walk through pricing strategy, the likely buyer pool, and how different price points may affect demand. No pressure, no tiny protest signs, just a thoughtful look at what actually would help your home succeed. Because the right price does not describe the market. It helps create the market.